Good morning. It's Saturday, August 22nd. And I have to report that Donald Trump did not have a good week this week. First thing he did was pardon Susan B. Anthony a couple days ago. And then he gets a tweet that they will not accept the pardon. The Susan B. Anthony Museum will not accept the pardon. The wording in the tweet was like being in a court of law. Objection, Mr. President. Susan B. Anthony must decline your offer of a pardon today. And then they offered him advice on how he should have handled the pardon. They said if one wants to honor Susan B. Anthony today, a clear stance against any form of voter suppression would be welcome. That's what they said. And then they said support for the Equal Rights Amendment would be well received. And the next tweet said, advocacy for human rights for all would be splendid. They also pointed out that Anthony fought for more than just women's right to vote. Anthony was a strong proponent of sex education, fair labor practices, excellent public education, equal pay for equal work, and elimination of all forms of discrimination. So that's what the museum told Donald Trump. And they did it in a splendid manner, very, very professionally. And let's hope that he got the message. That was the beginning. Then on top of that, his former right-hand man, Steve Bannon, gets arrested for scamming people. Bannon was pulled from a luxury yacht on Thursday and arrested. Bannon and 3 of his associates ripped off donors trying to fund the southern border wall, making him the latest in a long list of Trump allies to be charged with the crime. Unfortunately for Bannon, Trump probably won't be in office to pardon him. So that's strike one. So the organizers of this charity called We Build the Wall portrayed themselves as eager to help the president build a beautiful barrier between the U.S. and Mexico. That's what he promised to do in the 2016 campaign. And they raised more than $25 million from thousands of donors and pledged that 100% of the money would be used for the project. But according to the criminal charges, which were unsealed on Thursday, much of the money never made it to the wall. Instead, it was used to line the pockets of the group members, including Bannon. Bannon took $1 million out of the fund and used the money to pay one of the defendants, Brian Culfridge, who was a war veteran and a triple amputee. He was the founder of the project. Bannon gave him money, and then he took a couple $100,000 to cover his personal expenses. So hours after his arrest, Bannon was in Manhattan court and pleaded not guilty. And Bannon joins the all-star team of crooks that worked for Trump. Paul Manafort, Michael Cohen, Michael Flynn, Roger Stone. Yes, when we look back at this time, we're going to say, holy shit, how did all these people get jobs in the White House? And guess who made the arrest? The United States Postal Inspection Team. They were the guys that arrested him, because they are one of the finest forensic teams in the country. And we can't afford to lose them with all these cuts they're doing in the Postal Service. If you intend to have a Postal Service, you need a great inspection team. Because of COVID-19, Bannon actually appeared by video in the court. with a white mask covering his face. And the judge approved his release on a $5 million bail, which was secured by $1.75 million in assets. Of course, as soon as Donald heard about the arrest, he quickly distanced himself from Bannon and the project. He said, when I heard about this project in the past, I didn't like it. I said it was for the government. This isn't for private people to get involved. It sounded to me like showboating. That's what he told reporters. He also said that the private donations, the amount of money was too small to be bothered with. We needed billions, not millions of dollars for the wall. It turns out that when the project was started in December 2018, it raised $17 million in the first week. But then it drew some scrutiny, according to the indictment, and the crowdfunding site that hosted the campaign suspended it and threatened to return the donations unless the money was transferred to a legitimate nonprofit. And Bannon was brought in at that time. So it looks like he was brought in to create a legitimate nonprofit, and that nonprofit turned out to be him and his cronies. Bannon was not a nice guy when he worked in the White House. He clashed with many of the people that were working around him, and he instituted some of Trump's most evil deeds. So it doesn't surprise me one bit that he would pull a stunt like this, and I'm glad he got caught. I'm also glad that it happened at this time, because it just shows how poorly Trump was running his presidency, that he would surround himself with people of this ilk. But maybe that's been his whole life. Maybe he's worked in the shady side of the world his whole life. So in any event, this was not a good week for him. And this may be the way it is for the next couple of months. Only November 3rd can save his ass now. So I leave you with that, and I will see you in the morning. Bye.